Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next answer copy of our Aim for Agriculture series. So as you all know that we are having Aim for Agriculture series in which we are having daily answer writing practice plus weekly full tests. So today we are going to discuss the answer copy of day 25. So let's see what were the questions that were asked and how the student has approached the answer. And with while discussing these types of answers, it you must pause the video and read the answers because it will be not easy for me to read line by line. I will be just discussing in brief the basic and important points. So you can pause the video and read the answers. And secondly, these types of answers can be very much helpful to you in structuring your answer, in analyzing these types of answers. You can also get to know how to write answers, how to add examples, how to structure answers. So these types of videos, these types of answer copy analyzing can be very helpful to you. So let's start. So the first question asked is, discuss the problems and management of residual toxicity of herbicides in soil. So what is residual toxicity? That is that it refers to the persistence of herbicide chemicals in the soil after their application. Okay, so these are the residue of pesticides, or the toxic residue of pesticides persist in the soil after their application, and this is generally happening due to high use of herbicides. Okay, and they can affect plant growth, they can affect soil health, they can affect environment. These chemicals can reach down to our groundwater, they can be going to the nearby water streams, nearby resources. So these can be very fatal. Now let's see, as the question is asking about problem and management of residual toxicity. So what are the problems? As we discussed, it can affect soil health, it can affect plant growth, it can lead to water contamination, it can lead to weed resistance. Many times what happens, due to high amount of use of weedicides or herbicides, the weed gets resistant towards those weedicides. There could be biodiversity loss, could be uh, herbicide carryover. Okay, so these are the problems which can take place. Now what are the management strategies? How can we manage? If you want to pause, read the answers in detail, you can pause and read it. Now how can we manage this problem? So first of all, we have to select the herbicides with minimal residual activity. Secondly, correct timing and dosage is important. That is, we have to apply correct doses of herbicides. Sometimes applying high amount of doses which is not required leads to the residual of those herbicides. We need to do regular soil testing, we need to do regular soil monitoring. From soil testing we should know that how much amount of herbicides or pesticides or any chemicals are required in soil. Okay, we should implement crop rotation so that it acts as a cultural practices and it will not let the herbs or pests any kind of problems in the crops or diseases also. Although the question is about herbicides, but it is equally beneficial for pests also, crop rotation. We can use biodegradable herbicides, biological herbicides such as neem oil, and other herbicides which contain extracts of neem or some allelopathic extracts which can be very much important. Okay, so using of those herbicides or using of biological pesticides, so it is a common problem. Okay, it happens in pest also, it happens in herbicides also. There is problems of pest residue also, there are problems of herbicide residue also. So both are similar ones, so that is why I am taking both the points similarly. So these were the points well mentioned and again appropriately concluded. So these was the question one. I hope you understood it. Now let's move to the second question, that is, enlist and discuss the major greenhouse gases emitted from soil and discuss their mitigation. So these are the major greenhouse gases: CO2, methane, nitrous oxide, which is emitted from the soil. So first greenhouse discussed each carbon dioxide, its sources have been mentioned, its impact have been mentioned, its mitigation have been mentioned, such as using the method of reduced tillage, use of cover crops, afforestation and reforestation, because planting of trees can act as carbon sink because they can sequester the carbons. Second, methane has been mentioned. Okay, its sources has been mentioned, its impact mitigation, so everything has been well mentioned. Next, nitrous oxide has been mentioned, its sources, impact mitigation has been mentioned. So this was the demand of the question fulfilled. Although student could have written one to more greenhouse gases, but these three were the most important, and it is fairly written. So it was okay. But if you can add other gases also. And again, fairly concluded. So very well written answer. Now let's move to the next question. The next question was discuss in detail about transgenic technology and write its role in improving shelf life of fruits and vegetables. So what is transgenic technology? It involves the insertion of genes from one species into the genome of another. Suppose there is a gene. Suppose there is a gene in bacteria, and that gene is very much helpful in controlling of a certain type of pest. So these gene can be inserted into the plants for the control of pest. So this is what a kind of example of transgenic technology is. Okay, they are also known as genetically modified organisms because their genes have been modified by adding other genes. Now, how can be transgenic technology be created? Although it is not mentioned in the question, but a student has written in the heading transgenic technology only, so it is fair and well written. First of all, we have to identify gene, then isolate gene, then clone that gene, then introduce that gene to the plant in which or other species in which it is required, then regenerate that plant, then screening and selection, then testing and evaluation. So this is the steps for creating transgenic plants. Now, how can they be helpful in improving shelf life of fruits and vegetables? First of all, they can be helpful in reducing ethylene production. As we all know that this ethylene leads to ripening of fruits, and that when the fruits ripen, its shelf life decreases. So, reduction of this ethylene production can be helpful. For example, flavor saver tomato. It is one of the very good examples. Flavor saver tomato. It can lead to delayed ripening, such as use of antisense RNA technology can be done here. Antisense RNA technology. Improved resistance can be developed through resistance to disease pathogens, because many times these diseases and pathogens lead to shorter shelf lives. For example, in BT brinjal has been mentioned, enhanced antioxidant production can decrease the shelf life. In fruits also, the examples have been mentioned, such as of banana, reduced ethylene, delayed ripening, extended shelf life. Mango has been mentioned. The examples of vegetables have been mentioned, such as how can potato increase the shelf life of potato, such as by reducing sugar levels, by reducing browning during stages. For capsicum has been also mentioned. So very sorry. So very well written answer. Again, brinjal, the example of brinjal have been also mentioned and well concluded. So this was the questions of day 25, and I hope you understood how the student has mentioned the answer. I hope you have paused the video at different intervals and read it. So these types of things can be very helpful to you in improving your answer writing skills. So that is all for today. Please do like, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis. रेगुलर बेसिस पे आप सबके लिए ऐसे वीडियोस बनाने के लिए काफी हार्ड वर्क लगता है. एंड इफ यू लाइक, इफ यू शेयर, इफ यू सब्सक्राइब, इट मोटिवेट्स अस to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.